Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real today. This ain't fancy, this ain't complicated, but it will change your life if you do it. I'm talking about waking up early. Now I already know what some of y'all thinking. Steve, I'm not a morning person. Let me help you with something. Success don't care what kind of person you are. Success responds to habits, not excuses. See, when you wake up early, you get something most people never get: quiet. The world is peaceful. Your phone ain't ringing. Nobody needs nothing from you. And for once, life ain't pulling on you from every direction. That's when you can think. That's when you can pray. That's when you can plan. And let me tell you, if you don't plan your life, somebody else will plan it for you. I learned a long time ago that winners do what losers don't want to do. Waking up early is uncomfortable. It's hard. Your bed feels real good. But while you lay in there comfortable, somebody else is up working on the dream you keep talking about. That's the difference. That's the separator. Discipline. When you wake up early, you start winning the day before the day even starts. You already accomplished something hard. You already told yourself, I said I was going to get up and I did it. That builds confidence. And confidence is dangerous because once you start believing in yourself, ain't nobody can stop you. Let me say this clearly, your life changes when your mornings change. You can read, you can work on your goals, you can work on yourself. Instead of rushing through life stressed out, you start moving with purpose. And purpose gives you power. God talks in quiet moments. He don't shout over noise. If you always surrounded by noise, distractions, and sleep, you're going to miss the instructions. Early mornings give you access to answers you've been praying for. I'm not saying you got to wake up at 4 a.m. tomorrow and turn into Superman. I'm saying start small, wake up 30 minutes earlier, then an hour. Build the habit, because habits create lifestyle, and lifestyle creates destiny. Waking up early gives you a head start on life while others are still sleeping, and this one habit alone can quietly change everything about your future. When you rise before the world does, you are choosing progress over comfort, purpose over laziness, and discipline over excuses. Early mornings are not about punishment or suffering. They are about positioning yourself ahead of the competition. While most people are still wrapped in blankets, lost in dreams, you are awake building the life you keep praying for. That head start may seem small, but over time it creates a massive gap between where you are and where others remain stuck. There is something powerful about owning the first hours of your day. Those hours belong to you. No noise, no distractions, no demands. That quiet time allows you to think clearly, plan intentionally, and focus deeply. Life moves fast, and once the day begins, it starts pulling you in 100 directions. But when you wake up early, you decide the direction first. You are no longer reacting to life. You are leading it. That shift alone changes how you show up in the world. Getting up early trains your mind to do hard things. Your bed will beg you to stay. Your body will argue with you. But every time you choose to get up anyway, you strengthen your self-control. You prove to yourself that you are capable of discipline. And discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Talent without discipline fades. Motivation without discipline disappears. But discipline shows up even when you don't feel like it. That early start also builds confidence in a quiet but powerful way. You begin to trust yourself more because you keep the promises you make to yourself. You said you would wake up early, and you did it. That trust spills into other areas of life. You start believing you can stick to goals, overcome obstacles, and finish what you start. Confidence doesn't come from loud words. It comes from consistent action. Waking up early creates momentum. When you start the day with intention, the rest of the day follows your lead. You are less rushed, less stressed, and more focused. You have time to work on yourself before working for others. You can read, learn, plan, exercise, or pray. Instead of chasing time all day, time begins to work for you. This habit also separates those who talk from those who do. Everybody has dreams. Everybody wants success. But very few are willing to sacrifice comfort for growth. Early mornings demand sacrifice, and sacrifice is the price of greatness. Nothing extraordinary is built from convenience. Every successful life is supported by unseen effort, and most of that effort happens when nobody is watching. When you wake up early, you send a message to life that you are serious. You are no longer waiting for motivation to find you. You are going to meet success halfway. You begin to respect time, and in return, time starts rewarding you. Days become productive. Weeks become focused. Years become meaningful. The truth is simple: life does not change overnight, but it changes one morning at a time. Each early morning is a brick laid in the foundation of your future. Miss one brick and nothing happens. Lay one brick every day, and eventually you build something unbreakable. XPND2K nuan 600 wild asabitoy hem gen kokyom. Waking up early creates discipline, and discipline is the invisible force behind every successful life. Most people think success comes from talent, luck, or connections, but the truth is much simpler and much harder. It comes from doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Early mornings force you to face discomfort head on. The alarm goes off, your body wants rest, your mind looks for excuses, and in that moment you make a choice. Every time you choose to get up, you strengthen your ability to control yourself instead of letting comfort control you. Discipline built in the morning spreads into every area of your life. When you master the first battle of the day, you walk into the rest of it with authority. You become more focused at work, more consistent with your goals, and more patient with challenges. You stop relying on motivation because motivation is unreliable. Discipline shows up on good days and bad days. It works when you are tired, stressed, or uninspired. And once discipline becomes a habit, your life starts running on purpose instead of emotion. Early mornings teach you respect for time. Time is the one thing everyone gets equally, yet most people waste it without realizing its value. When you wake up early, you stop treating time casually. You begin to see how powerful even one extra hour can be. 1 hour a day spent learning, planning, or improving yourself turns into hundreds of hours in a year. That is how average people quietly become extraordinary. They don't do something dramatic, they do something small consistently. Discipline also brings mental strength. When you wake up early, you train your mind to stay steady under pressure. You learn how to push past resistance and keep moving forward. Life will test you in bigger ways than a morning alarm, and if you cannot overcome something small, you will struggle when bigger challenges arrive. Early mornings prepare you for life's storms by teaching you how to stay committed, even when things feel uncomfortable. There is a confidence that comes from discipline that cannot be faked. It is not loud or arrogant, it is calm and grounded. You walk differently when you know you are doing what most people avoid. You stop seeking validation from others because you already know you are putting in the work. That confidence attracts opportunities, respect, and trust. People can feel when someone is disciplined, even if they cannot explain why. Waking up early also brings structure to your life. Without structure, days blend together, goals stay unfinished, and dreams remain ideas. Discipline gives your life a framework. You begin to organize your priorities instead of reacting to chaos. Your mornings become intentional, and intention creates direction. Direction leads to progress. Most people wait until life forces discipline on them through pain, failure, or regret. Waking up early allows you to choose discipline before life chooses it for you. It is a decision to grow voluntarily instead of being shaped by hardship. Over time, that decision compounds into stability, success, and self-respect. The truth is, discipline does not limit your life, it expands it. The more disciplined you become, the more freedom you gain. Freedom from stress, from confusion, from wasted potential. And it all starts with one simple decision made early in the morning, long before the world wakes up. Waking up early gives you quiet, and quiet is where clarity is born. In a world that never stops talking, never stops demanding, and never stops distracting, silence has become rare and valuable. Early mornings offer a kind of peace that cannot be found later in the day. No phone buzzing, no opinions flying at you, no emergencies pulling you in every direction. Just you, your thoughts, and the space to finally hear yourself think. That stillness allows your mind to slow down and your vision to sharpen. In quiet moments, you begin to understand what you actually want, not what the world tells you to want. Throughout the day, noise drowns out your inner voice. Social media, work pressure, family expectations, and constant comparison confuse your sense of direction. But when you wake up early, before the world wakes up, you reconnect with your purpose. You can reflect on your goals, examine your decisions, and realign your actions with what truly matters to you. Quiet mornings also strengthen your spiritual connection. Many people say they are waiting on guidance, waiting on answers, waiting for signs, but they never slow down enough to receive them. Guidance often comes in calm moments, not chaos. When you wake up early, you create room for prayer, meditation, or simple reflection. That space allows wisdom to surface and direction to become clear. Instead of asking for clarity all day, you give clarity a place to find you. The silence of early mornings also fuels creativity. Ideas are fragile, they need calm to grow. During the day, your mind is busy reacting, solving problems, and responding to demands. Creativity rarely survives that environment. But in the early hours, your mind is open and fresh, thoughts flow freely, solutions appear, plans take shape. Many breakthroughs happen not because people are smarter, but because they give their minds the quiet space needed to connect ideas. Waking up early helps you reset emotionally. Stress builds when you are constantly rushing and reacting. Quiet time allows you to process emotions instead of suppressing them. You can acknowledge frustration, fear, or doubt without judgment, and then let it go. That emotional clarity helps you show up calmer and stronger throughout the day. You are less reactive because you have already centered yourself before the chaos begins. There is also a sense of control that comes from quiet mornings. When you start your day peacefully, you don't feel behind. You don't feel rushed. You feel grounded. That feeling changes how you handle challenges. Problems seem more manageable. Decisions feel less overwhelming. You respond instead of panicking. Control over your mornings becomes control over your mindset. Quiet early hours also strengthen self-awareness. You begin to notice patterns in your thinking, habits in your behavior, and areas that need growth. Awareness is the first step to change. Without quiet reflection, people repeat the same mistakes because they never pause to understand them. Early mornings give you that pause. They give you the chance to course correct before the day pulls you off track. Most people underestimate the power of silence because it doesn't look productive. But clarity, creativity, and purpose are born there. When you wake up early, you are not just gaining time, you are gaining access to your true self. And that access changes how you move through the world for the rest of the day. Success leaves clues, and one of the clearest clues is how successful people protect their mornings. Across industries, cultures, and backgrounds, there is a common pattern. People who achieve great things take control of the early hours of the day. This is not coincidence. It is strategy. Mornings are when the mind is fresh, energy is higher, and distractions are minimal. Those who understand this use that time intentionally, while others sleep through the opportunity. Waking up early gives you access to your highest quality thinking. Later in the day, your mind becomes cluttered with decisions, conversations, and stress. Fatigue slowly chips away at focus and creativity. Early mornings offer mental sharpness that cannot be recreated later, no matter how much coffee you drink. Successful people know this, which is why they schedule their most important work before the rest of the world demands their attention. Protecting the morning also sends a powerful message about priorities. It says that growth comes before comfort and purpose comes before convenience. Successful people don't wait until they have time to work on their goals because time never magically appears. They create time. By waking up early, they make themselves the first priority of the day instead of the last. This habit builds momentum that carries into everything else they do. Another reason successful people value mornings is consistency. Even when days are unpredictable, mornings are reliable. Meetings change, problems arise, and plans fall apart, but the morning always arrives. By anchoring their routines to the early hours, successful individuals ensure steady progress regardless of what the day brings. That consistency compounds over time, turning small daily efforts into remarkable results. Early mornings also allow for uninterrupted focus. Deep work requires long stretches of concentration, something nearly impossible once the day is in full motion. Notifications, messages, and responsibilities constantly break attention. By waking up early, successful people enter a protected space where they can work deeply and efficiently. This is where strategies are built, skills are sharpened, and visions are refined. Observing successful lives reveals another truth: they do not rely on motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but routines remain. Morning routines remove decision-making from the equation. When you wake up at the same time every day and follow a set pattern, you eliminate excuses. You no longer debate whether to work on your goals, you simply do it. That discipline frees mental energy and increases productivity. Early mornings also reflect long-term thinking. Sleeping in feels good in the moment, but successful people prioritize future rewards over immediate comfort. They understand that progress requires sacrifice, and mornings are where that sacrifice is often made. This mindset shift separates those who dream from those who achieve. Perhaps most importantly, protecting the morning builds self-trust. When you consistently honor your commitments to yourself, your confidence grows. You begin to believe in your ability to follow through, to persist, and to succeed. That belief becomes the foundation of resilience and ambition. Success does not announce itself loudly. It is built quietly, early in the morning, by those who understand the value of time and choose to invest it wisely. EXPN 5K on 600 Wardis buys Amagioy Shedi and Kokyo. Waking up early builds confidence because it teaches you how to keep promises to yourself, and there is no stronger form of confidence than self-trust. Every time you set an alarm and actually get up when it rings, you are telling yourself, I can rely on me. Most people struggle not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because deep down they don't trust themselves anymore. They've broken too many small promises to themselves, and over time that damage adds up. Early mornings begin repairing that damage one decision at a time. Confidence is not something you wake up with one day. It is something you earn through consistent action. When you wake up early, you start your day with a win. It may not seem like a big victory, but it is powerful because it happens before excuses have time to form. You said you would wake up early, and you did it. That simple act strengthens your belief in your own word. And when you trust your word, you start moving differently in life. Many people look confident on the outside, but feel uncertain on the inside. That inner doubt comes from inconsistency. Saying you'll do something and not following through slowly erodes self-respect. Early mornings reverse that process. They force you to choose discipline over comfort. Each time you make that choice, you build inner strength. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who does what they say, someone who can be counted on. That confidence spills into every area of life. You start setting bigger goals because you trust yourself to work toward them. You stop quitting when things get hard because you've proven to yourself that you can push through discomfort. You stop seeking approval from others because you already respect yourself. This kind of confidence is quiet but powerful. It doesn't need validation. It stands on consistency. Waking up early also changes how you handle challenges. When life throws obstacles your way, you don't panic as easily because you've trained yourself to face resistance daily. That alarm clock is resistance. Getting out of bed is resistance. And every morning you overcome it, you practice resilience. Over time, your mind learns that discomfort is temporary and manageable. That lesson becomes priceless when facing bigger life challenges. Confidence grows when you realize you are in control of your actions. Early mornings reinforce that control. Instead of letting your mood decide your behavior, you decide. That sense of control creates stability. You stop feeling like life is happening to you and start feeling like you are directing it. That shift alone can change how you approach work, relationships, and personal growth. Keeping promises to yourself also builds integrity. Integrity isn't just about honesty with others, it's about honesty with yourself. When you wake up early consistently, you align your actions with your intentions. That alignment creates inner peace. You no longer carry the guilt of procrastination or broken promises. You feel lighter, more focused, and more capable. Over time, early mornings create a positive feedback loop. The more you keep your promises, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more willing you are to challenge yourself. The more you challenge yourself, the more you grow. Growth fuels confidence, and confidence fuels growth. It all starts with one small decision made repeatedly. Waking up early doesn't just change your schedule, it changes how you see yourself. You stop identifying as someone who trees and start identifying as someone who does. And once that identity shifts, everything else in your life begins to rise to match it. Small daily sacrifices made in the morning have the power to create massive life transformation over time. Waking up early is one of those sacrifices that feels difficult in the moment, but pays rewards far beyond what most people can imagine. It asks you to give up comfort now so you can gain freedom later. Most people avoid this trade because the reward isn't immediate, but real change has never been about instant gratification. It has always been about patience, consistency, and faith in the process. When you wake up early, you are choosing growth over ease. That choice may cost you a few minutes of sleep, but it gives you hours of opportunity. Opportunity to work on your dreams, to improve your skills, to invest in yourself before the world demands your energy. Those extra morning hours quietly stack up. One day doesn't change much, but weeks turn into months, and months turn into years. Before you realize it, the life you once dreamed about starts becoming familiar. Morning sacrifices also teach you the value of delayed reward. Instead of chasing quick pleasure, you learn to work for long-term results. That mindset is rare, and that rarity is exactly why it leads to success. People who master delayed gratification develop patience, focus, and emotional control. They don't quit easily because they understand that meaningful progress takes time. Early mornings reinforce that lesson daily. There is also a humility in waking up early and doing the work when nobody is watching. No applause, no recognition, just effort. That humility strengthens character. It builds discipline without ego and progress without noise. Many people want visible success, but few are willing to commit to invisible effort. Early mornings are